What's up, y'all? Sever the Bond. Welcome back to Nets Republic. I'm trying this new thing where I take a nap and then I make a video, so hopefully I'm a little bit more energized. I feel like I did the exact opposite and I'm sleepier than usual, but that's not here. Almost slept through the entire night, but that's neither here nor there. Welcome back to our coverage and recaps of Media Day from yesterday. Yesterday's point of view was from Kevin Durant. Today's point of view is from Kyrie Irving. Again, Media Day was basically going over one timeline just from the perspective of our three major players. That's Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and Ben Simmons. We will not make a separate video for Sean Marks and all of them because we don't really care. We only care about these three perspectives, and more specifically the two that we're doing yesterday and today. But that's neither here nor there. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so please tell a Nets fan to tell a Nets fan to boot the channel. And please go on to netsrepublic.com, hit the shop button, and pick you up a shirt. We got some good stuff. And again, it's starting to get a little chilly outside, even though this is like fake fall. We're not in real fall yet, it's in fake fall, but it is chilly in the morning. So by all means, go get you a hoodie, because you don't want to be left out when I'm in these videos with the Nets Republic hoodie and you just kind of sitting there just, you want to be at the cool kids table. But that's neither here nor there. Peer pressure aside, let's get into Kyrie's point of view. This is our second round of storylines, if you will. Now, with yesterday, we talked about Kevin Durant and how Kevin Durant, forgot the other light. And how Kevin Durant felt about all this shenanigans that was going on, how he felt about his trade request, and his point of view of how the season went. Today, we're going over Kyrie Irving's version of it. When Kyrie got up there, he started the media. Well, first of all, he was there. Last year, he was there on Zoom. This year, he was actually here for real. He didn't have the IG Live afterwards where he would just stir the pot further. He was actually here this time, and that's partially because all of the mandates have been lifted, so it doesn't matter if he's vaccinated or not. Kyrie Irving is here to stay, allegedly, and there is no, and I say this confidently when I say that there is no possible way for things to get worse. If we're strictly talking X's and O's and strictly basketball, there is no way this can get worse. The only thing that can happen is he gets hurt, and I don't think that's going to happen. How do I know? I don't. I'm just choosing to be positive about it, but that's not going to there. But there are no mandates. There's nothing going on. We're still in a pandemic, but it's not like as, bad quarantine. Like there's no bubble. So it's like, even though cheese is here, there is no bubble. So nothing can possibly go wrong outside of injury. So I do feel positive going, no pun intended, going into this season that everything's going to be fine in regards to Kyrie Irving. It's just decoding what this man said and his specific side of the story that gives me a little bit of a headache. I have made several Kyrie Irving videos recently, and none of them have been positive, but I would like to go out there and say that Kyrie Irving as a person, now I don't mess with Kevin Durant at all, but Kyrie Irving as a person seems like a pretty cool dude. Like a guy seems really down to, not so much down to earth, but that's just a poor choice of words. He seems like someone whose head is on his shoulders and is a swell guy. Like, I feel like everyone in their friend group has a Kyrie Irving. And if you don't, you should really reevaluate your friendship circle. And if you don't have friends, that's okay. But in some circles, I would say that I am the Kyrie Irving of a lot of groups. I've been told that, and I'm starting to accept it a little bit more, and that's okay. Not so much that I'm on some conspiracy type stuff, but that everyone has that guy. Everyone's got that girl. Everyone's got that individual who is the Kyrie Irving of the friend group. Again, I 9 times out of 10 am the Kyrie Irving of a friend group, and that's okay. I feel like at its core, having a quirky person who thinks a lot and is really into oneself, if you will, is important. A self-aware individual, that's what I'm going for. Well, Kyrie's not self-aware, but a self-aware individual who claims to be self-aware is someone who is absolutely important for every group of individuals. And it's good that the team has a Kyrie, because every team does need one, not just his skill level, but his personality and what he brings out. The issue is Kyrie lacks he doesn't lack the critical thinking because he's a very intelligent man. He lacks the self-awareness to have any form of accountability for himself. Kyrie got up there And he brought up the vaccine mandate himself. No one asked him that. They were trying to focus on, why didn't you get the contract extension? And is that what was going on behind the scenes? And is that why Katie didn't want to resign? Kyrie Irving's point of view was, he was basically, and he didn't say this was exactly what happened, but he said he felt like he was presented with a choice. Either he got vaccinated and he gets his $100,000 or whatever number he said, or he doesn't get vaccinated and we just see what happens. And Kyrie Irving, without saying this exactly, basically said that he had to be a martyr to stand on what he believes in. And that was a lot for him. Now, the matter-of-fact statement that him not getting vaccinated translated into contract negotiations stalling, and him not getting the exact contract he wanted because of that, and him feeling some type of way about that, is valid. That is extremely valid, and I agree with that 1,000%. Now that he needs my agreement for it. What is over here that is in my way? I need my little walking space. But that is valid, and he can feel that way 1,000%, and there's nothing wrong with it. The issue that I think myself and a lot of people have is Kevin Durant didn't want to be here because he felt as if he couldn't trust the organization. He felt like if he wasn't on the court, nothing gets accomplished. And he didn't want to live like that. He wanted to be in a situation that is self-sustaining, if you will, and will continue whether he's on the court or not. He just wants to be a part of the winning culture, which we need to have a conversation about culture too, but I'm saving that for a later day. The part of the lack of self-awareness comes from this. And I won't bore you with everything Kyrie said, because most of it is just very much him speaking on how he feels on things. But the reason for that was you, bro. And there was not any period of time in the interview where Kyrie owned up to him being the reason for the turmoil and saying, my bad. That never happened. And that's the issue a lot of people have with Kyrie. Some people just legitimately hate him, which, I mean, I think hate's a very strong word. And other people might have their own mindsets and viewpoints. But the general consensus of the sports world, and especially media, just has an issue with you being the reason for the turmoil and not acknowledging it. Kyrie could really silence a lot of this stuff by just getting on camera and saying, my bad, I'm sorry. That's all he has to do. But he's got this, I don't want to say victim complex. He's got this thing to where he feels like he's on this mental, this journey, if you will. This journey of the self, which is great for him, but what about the world around you, bro? Like, it's great that Kyrie has found himself and believes in whatever he believes in, and that's awesome and that's great. But what about the trail of fire that goes from organization to organization that you cause, bro? Kevin Durant, without saying so, was referring to Kyrie destroying the season. Like, I think we all agree that it's Kyrie's fault for 90% of what happened last year. And I always get really weird and go back and forth between him and Steve Nash. But as far as the on-court production and what really just unraveled everything, it starts with Kyrie. Kyrie's not there for the beginning of training camp because of his decision to not get vaccinated. It's his prerogative if he wants to do it or not. I understand that we're not having a vaccine conversation, my God. But Kyrie makes a decision to not get vaccinated, to be the voice of the voiceless, as he says, as pretentious as that is, to be the voice of the voiceless, to stand up for people who, blah, 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 right? When he doesn't do that, he's not there for the beginning of training camp. It's just Harden and Kevin Durant. And we saw that last year. We weren't able to keep a lot of pieces like Jeff Green and stuff like that. So it was really just putting tape on things. We never replaced Jared Allen. Like, there was a lot of things that just weren't right. And we were going into that season. with a team that was constructed for the big three, and we only had two of them. And Harden was really off. So really it was just Kevin and Harden on one leg again. Kyrie Irving comes back and proceeds to give the team COVID. That's not some narrative Sever the Bond came up with. That's what happened. Kyrie comes back and miraculously all the veterans got COVID. You move on further and you get to more specific examples. I don't know if y'all remember. It was around the time I first came on to Nets Republic. This was in January, right? It was around the time that Kevin Durant got hurt, and it was just occasionally Kyrie Irving and James Harden. The games where Harden was hurt, quote unquote, and it was just Kyrie out there. What did I say on multiple occasions? Kyrie Irving's amazing basketball offensive productions, where he goes to Karis LeVert offensive land, does not translate to winning. And I know that sounds so slanderous, but it doesn't. Like, if he's not surrounded by a whole team that's going to make up for what he's not going to do, that does not translate to winning. That's not me slandering him. That is factual. Go back and watch the videos. How many nights did we get on camera and say, well, Kyrie scored 30, but we lost by 20? It just, like, him alone does not translate to winning on this specific team. Maybe on other teams, but not on the specific team we had last year, especially without KD. Then we started getting the random appearances of God Mode Kyrie, where Kyrie was coming back. This was around the time Harden left. So Kyrie's coming back in the games that he's able to play, the away games, and he's just going off. 60 points, 50 points, 40 points. I mean, just going off. But he had Kevin Durant by his side. It's the 7-11 connection. We saw what they did to the Cavs in the play-in tournament. Like, we saw game one of the playoffs, which I say is a Kyrie Irving masterclass. I think we get distracted by the fact that we lost and Kyrie missed a defensive assignment. But that was a Kyrie Irving masterclass offensively, and it's a shame we lost. It really is, because Kyrie was going off. I mean, to be able to flick off the fans and still play the way he played at the same time is just amazing. But you notice how every plot point I just went over for the season involves Kyrie in some way? And these are the same points that I'll bring up in a Ben Simmons video. These are the same points that we brought up in the Kevin Durant video yesterday. The common thread is Kyrie. So for him to ask of the reporters, does someone have a timeline? Bro, it's you. Like, you're the problem. There was moments of self-awareness sprinkled in there, I guess, when he would to talk about the options he has. Someone asked him, how close were you to actually going to another team this summer? And he was like, it was pretty close. There weren't many options, but it was pretty close. And that's when he started doing the What Was Me performance and saying that he didn't have many options because there is a narrative of him that he is not reliable and not available. Kyrie, you played 20 games. Like, you did that, bro. You did that. It's like when Sean Marks and them sit there and like complain about the state of the team. You put it together. Like, where's the... It's baffling to me. It really is. And I know it's like an 18-minute video and I'm super simplifying it. It's because I'm trying to save you 18 minutes if you didn't already watch it. Kyrie has to have a moment. Like, if he truly wants to move on from things, you have to have a moment where you say, I messed up. my bad, let's move forward. That's how anything gets brushed over. If you have an argument with someone, it never truly ends until someone really apologizes on both sides. Because an apology goes two ways. There's always room for someone to chime in, yo, I did so-and-so, that's crazy, my fault. And the other person to say, well, I also did so-and-so to enable such and such, that's wild. That's a true apology. And just to dig in, the kid has a master's degree in conflict resolution. So like I'm telling you, I'm educated in this matter. It's a two-way street, and you cannot move on if you do not acknowledge the past properly. And acknowledging is apologizing. It's a two-sided thing. If you want apologies from the media, okay, you can get it. I don't really know what we're apologizing for, but you can get it, sure. I'll apologize. There were times I really went hard on Kyrie when it wasn't basketball related, and that's my fault. I gotta keep it professional. That's my bizzle. That is my bad. Like when there was several times in the regular season where Kyrie was dropping like 35 points, and I made a joke that said he was following not X's and O's but ones and zeros because he was in the Matrix and he was on a higher plane, but it didn't equate to winning. Like, that's crazy. I apologize. I'm not gonna stop, but that's crazy, and I apologize for that. But then you have to also have the awareness to say, my bad for destroying last season. Won't let it happen again. You see, the only reason why we're moving on is because the mandates were lifted. It's not like Kyrie said, my bad, boom, I'm back in it, right? We would still be in the same situation if the mandates were not lifted. You feel me? We'd still be in the same situation. Kyrie never budged. Kyrie never moved on. Harden leaves. Oh, well, high school people, it is what it is. Bro, it was just y'all for 2 months. What happened, buddy? Huh? Why was Harden talking to Booty? He didn't want to have to shoulder the burden of carrying a team if you were there, bro. Oh, that's right, you weren't, because you weren't legally able to play, so you weren't there with him, so it was really just Harden by himself. Oh, you hear Kevin Durant saying things like, it shouldn't just be up to me to win games when I'm not out there, stuff doesn't get accomplished. Kyrie, weren't you there when Kevin Durant wasn't? Oh, no, you weren't, because you weren't legally able to play. You're a part of the problem, bro. Like, it's just a lack of self-awareness for me. I am having a water under the bridge moment. We're going to start fresh because I like Kyrie as a person. There are many things he says that I disagree with morally, as a human being even. But for the most part, Kyrie's cool people. So I am willing to have a water under the bridge moment. He's not going to acknowledge anything that he did wrong, but that's fine. Partially because we're stuck with him, I'm willing to just say, let bygones be bygones. Here we go. Just like with Kevin Durant, nobody quotes his ability to play basketball. I do, however, think Kyrie is not as good as he thinks he is, but that doesn't take away from his greatness overall. Like, he's still Kyrie. Shout out to him. And shout out to us for having him. Like, that's Kyrie. So no one's doubting that you're not that guy. Well, that you're not one of those guys, right? It's the other stuff, bro. It's the other stuff. I hope I worded this video in a way that was not only, I can't say mature because I'm not a mature person. I'm a very petty individual. But I hope I worded this in a way that was respectful to Kyrie Irving. Because I felt like yesterday Kyrie was very respectful with his answers. I don't really think not acknowledging your part in the cluster blank, as he called it, is really mature or responsible or really anything, but cool. But I hope I worded this in a way that was not just slander. Hopefully I did. I hope that's how all this came across. But that's basically Kyrie's point of view of the story. Kyrie did nothing wrong, and the mandate's gone, so let's move on. That is basically what Kyrie Irving said. He thinks he deserves the contract. He does not think that had any effect on Kevin Durant as far as him wanting to come back or not. He said he had nothing to do with that, and it was a little bit awkward because he said he was coming back and Kevin wasn't. So he thought that was a little bit weird, but it's all good now because Kyrie says it's all good. That's Kyrie's point of view of this timeline. Tomorrow we're going to go over Ben Simmons' point of view of the timeline, which is a lot less sloppy because Ben Simmons wasn't there for about 50% of it. So his part of it is not as convoluted, if you will, but that's neither here nor there. I will see y'all tomorrow to talk about Ben Simmons' point of view of this matter. And I hope you are enjoying your week so far. We're almost at the halfway point. We're almost at hump day. So I'll see you tomorrow. Agaga. Nets Republic. Sever the bond.